Alright, welcome back everyone. Apparently instead of pausing that video, I just went ahead and stopped it. But we're right back where we were. Let's continue adding labels. I need to reinitiate my label command. Look at my dialog box and notice the prior selections didn't stick, so I want parcel, multiple segment, bearing over distance, and delta over length and radius. So I need to highlight that this curve label style, it's really important that it stays the same throughout the entire project. And we'll see why later. Click add to add my parcel labels, and I'm going to come in here and just kind of click through from left to right up top, or from right to left as the case may be. Some make a mess, some don't. And I'm going to stop and I'll do this one. Then I'm going to stop. I'll be a little more careful when I get down to there, and I'm going to come down in here, get these, and then I'm going to clean up, and then I'll do those last four. Alright, total mess here. So let's create some fixes. I'm going to close my dialog box and select these labels up top and change them so that I have distance down below with no bearing. Alright, so up here to the label style and say distance, and they're all here, and flip them all, and I'm good. So now let's look at my bearing over distances. So bearing over distance, this one needs to be flipped. Looks like we need to flip this one, and 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 this one. Yeah, that's good enough for now. So I'll flip those. They're okay. All these are okay down here. I've got a bit of a mess down here. Let's see what that label is. This is this 20-foot label. Right away, I'm going to change this uniquely to just distance. And I'm going to leave it right where it's at, actually. Okay. This one, if I select this label, I can see it kind of bleeds over into the next parcel segment. That's not acceptable. I need to drag that to the right a little bit and clean it up. The rest of them fit. Looking for issues. Alright, so clearly these parcel labels and my dimension labels create a lack of clarity there, so I'm going to select each of these property labels, and I'm going to just use my move command, and I'm going to move them straight up so that they are sort of in line with this parcel. I'll move them a little bit to the right so I've got some more clarity, and I think what I'll do is I'll just slide this down a little bit, get it out of the way, and things are starting to look pretty clear in this area up here. I need to actually change this to just distance and flip it to get it to the inside. Alright, looks like these need to flip as well as these here. I think that's starting to look pretty good. I'll go back to my annotate tab and add these last couple labels. Parcel, multiple segment, bearing over distance, and of course delta over length and radius. Click add. I'll get these last four going clockwise. And close this out. Take these two, I'm going to flip them. I don't see, actually this looks like it needs to be flipped. I have this 10 feet right here, that's going to need to be flipped. And so then I'll flip them, hit escape a couple times and select these last two down here and change them to distance only. Alright, so I have a total mess up here. So I have one distance label that goes from this intersection over to the endpoint, and another one that goes from the endpoint of the arc to this intersection here. So in the sake of clarity, I'm going to break a rule. I'm going to say this needs to be distance only. Right, there's no bearing, and then I'm going to drag it off down here and get a leader so that at least I'm indicating that this little section is 10 feet long. Better than nothing. And then I have this 90 degree with 49.99 above there. Alright, so it is time now to add these labels all the way that go around the outside. And again, we're going to use add label. And in this particular case, we're going to do I'm going to try line and curve label. It's been a long time since I've done this. But I want line between 2 points, I think. And I want not bearing over distance, I want everything above the line, so I want bearing and distance. And now I need to click add, and I'm going to get myself a distance label from this point to the intersection up here. And let's see what my results are. Bearing and distance, and I'm 1277 as opposed to 1270 as opposed to 1320, which is interesting because in my prior project I'm saying this is 25 and this is 25, so those are labels. So the 1270 really should start from here. So then in addition, I'm going to get a distance here, which is now my 50-foot distance. I need to continue going around, so I'm going to start here, head over. Actually, I'm not. I got to be really careful here. Remember, I want to go clockwise around this entire property. Remember, always clockwise. So add, I'll go around clockwise here. There's my 643. Then I'm going to come down, add a new one. I don't want to continue chaining anything. So here, and I'm only coming, yeah, I'll come to here. That's fine. So there's my label, and then I'm going to come from this curve end over to this endpoint. Okay. And I also need, I'm going to have to label this particular curve. So let's see, line and curve and single segment. And for this particular case, I very specifically want a different style of radius. So I think I want radius only. So I'm going to click add. There's my 70-foot radius. And I think, yeah, that's the only radius I have here. So I don't like where it's at, so I'm going to select that thing and flip it. Now it's on the outside, indicating, right, these outside dimensions are what go all the way around. So what I want to highlight is, notice there's an arrow here. North is my prime axis and east is my offset. Notice over here the arrow is going the other way and south is my prime axis. So as I pick the direction of point 1 and point 2, it defines what my prime radius is. So if my label goes from north to south, or my selection picks, then the label is going to use south as a prime axis. If I'm labeling from a south pick to a north pick, my label will give north as the prime axis. So important to be aware of that. And again, we want to go around in a consistent direction throughout our project. So let's fix this little label. Let's make it distance only. And let's drag it off so we get a leader, things are clear. And let's do the same thing down here. I think I had more than one thing selected, so here's my label, distance only, and drag it off. Alright, so all of my lines are pretty clear, but the overall picture is very unclear, and quite frankly, it's unclear because of all of these curve labels. There's just way too much text. And there's a very standard way of dealing with this in Civil 3D. And let's go look at what that is in our PDF, and then in the next section we will create the object that we need to deal with that. So if I kind of hover into the area that was making the biggest mess right in here, you can see on the PDF that there's just this little tag, C99. C for curve, and it's number 99. Curve 87. Curve 86. Curve 81. So what we're going to ask Civil 3D to do is take all of the data off the face of the drawing and put it into a table. Okay, so here you can see that we have a curve table for alignments and then a curve table for objects that aren't alignment related. So let's see, if I head to this C82, C82 is related to the road. There's a curve because of the road, so it's C82. Let's see if I can find a curve that's not related. Notice down here it's a C, well, that's road related. Yeah, all of my curves are alignment related. There's nothing here that's not. Yeah. So I think this table is just an extension of the first table. It's all one table. So what we're going to do is in Civil 3D in the next section we are going to create this table. And by the way, of course, it is pretty much automatic. There's not any typing we need to do, and we're just going to use a table command. So look forward to seeing the next section, and we will get that done.